the all-new Nikon 50mm f1.4, and we're filming this entire video on the 35 1.4 that came out just a month ago. But first, if you want to get my free preset pack, the presets you're going to see in this video, if you can find it, it's yours. It's not that hard.
Also, straight out of camera images coming at the end of this video.
Hello and welcome back to Save That Money with Nikon. Oh, we have a song?
Hey, it's a Nikon 51.4.
That's cool. The Nikon 50mm f1.4. It follows the 35mm 1.4 that you're seeing right now. And it's a lens that I brought to a real life wedding day. You can watch that video here on the channel if you're interested. And now it comes basically the same thing in 50mm. And by the same thing, I mean a very, very cost-effective f1.4 that just performs really nice in the field. Also, in terms of form factor, it's just really, really nice to just have a 51.4 at this size and also, again, at this price point. The lens itself, pretty basic. There's no button or anything on here, but also, again, the price point. You have your control ring back here. You can set to a variety of things, as well as your focus up front here, and it feels nice. I think that was one of the pieces of feedback that I received the most from the 35 1.4 was that they expected it to not feel as good as it did, and they feel really, really nice. In terms of autofocus, we are using it on the Nikon Z6 III, and it's been amazing. As you can see in the B-roll, I moved pretty fast and this lens kept up. I also shot everything that you're seeing at f1.4. In terms of the background details, one of the things that you would expect to see maybe from a less expensive lens is the background, maybe some fringing, maybe something going on back there that shouldn't be. And even when there's a high contrast point, like Clarissa's hair against the background, there's really no problem at all in those areas that I see. As a wedding and portrait photographer, I shoot a lot into backlit environments, and the sun's way up here today, so we can't test it outside in the field. But with this off-camera flash here, the flare is really well controlled and pleasing overall. In terms of bokeh, I feel like that's why a lot of us are drawn to these f1.4s, and the background feels really, really nice. I actually prefer it to the 35 just in terms of the focal length that you're going to get a shallower depth of field and you're going to really make your subject pop. There is weather sealing in this lens, but it's not as advanced as you're going to see in the 1.8S versions or the 1.2s. Yep. So here's the 51.4 in comparison to the 51.2S. A little bit of a difference there. One of the main differences between this 51.4 versus the 1.2 versus the 1.8 is the coatings used. So there are multiple tiers of coatings that Nikon uses, the 1.2 being the absolute best of all the coatings, which means it's going to minimize glare from the outside world. And then the 1.8S has the second tier of coating. And this 51.4 doesn't have the nanocrystal coating, which means it is the least coated of the three lenses. But that does come down to your artistic choice and your personal preferences, that you might not want that perfectly controlled image of the 1.2, and you might prefer something like this 1.4. For me personally, I am a huge fan of form factor and size of lenses. I carry one bag with me on wedding days, and this lens fits in that bag a lot easier than the 1.2. So in my personal preference, Liam behind the camera here is on the 1.2 pretty much all day. I am a little bit more in the camp of this smaller lens being something that I wouldn't be using all day. If it was my all day lens, maybe I would consider getting the best of the best. But if it's a lens that I'm using maybe 30% of the day, I am much happier to have something that easily fits into my bag and doesn't weigh me down. There's also days that I would just not use a 50, that I'll be on the 35 for all of getting ready and then something else for the ceremony and then maybe an 85 for the reception. And in that case, I am very, very happy having that 1.4 in my bag.
Straight out of camera images, let's go through them. Number one, here's a picture of Liam. Again, that video is all shot with the 35mm f1.4. Show you my settings down here. 50mm. Exposure comp apparently on. My bad. Next up, a little under. And as you can see, just a really nice, pleasing overall image that I am very, very happy with. And no real technical complaints. Obviously, you're going to get some smoother bokeh out of the 1.2, but all things considered, especially price, I am quite happy with this lens. This brings us to the end. If you're interested, get that free preset pack. It also comes with a 2.5-hour wedding photography course, and it can all be yours for the low, low price of free. See you next time.